All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everyone. I think the first order of business is a few oaths of office. Tom?
All righty.
Last time we did this, like for Posty, your first one was by Zoom?
Yeah, well, no, actually, we had to come in here with masks at like 10 a.m.
That what it was?
Oh,
That's
that's
why I had
right.
to check how this goes. 'cause,
That's
yeah,
right.
And then
Yeah.
these meetings were on Zoom for months.
All right, we're live and in person.
All right, Mayor King, I'll do you first.
Yeah.
If you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Steve King,
I, Steve King,
having been elected to the office of mayor
have been elected to the office of mayor
of said city of Austin,
of the city of Austin.
do swear that I will support the Constitution
Do swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States and state of Minnesota,
of the United States and the state of Minnesota.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thomas?
Can I get you to sign down there? Here's your,
That's a nice script you got from ChatGPT there, Tom.
here's your frameable.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right, next, Rebecca Waller. Rebecca, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Rebecca Waller,
Rebecca Waller,
having been elected to the office of council member, First Ward,
having been elected to the office of council member First Ward,
of said city of Austin,
the city of Boston,
do swear that I'll support the Constitution
do swear I'll support the Constitution
of the United States and state of Minnesota,
of the United States and Minnesota.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
I'll faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Here is that for you. Thank you. Mike Postma.
We're okay with, even though he's a Lions fan, not constitutionally out of.
I think we gotta violate the Constitution.
Yeah, that violates it in Austin. I am Michael Postma,
I'm Michael Postma.
having been elected to the office of council member, Second Ward,
Having been elected to the office of council member, Second Ward,
of said city of Austin,
of said city of Austin,
do swear that I will support the Constitution
do swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States and state of Minnesota,
of the United States and state of Minnesota,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And now for one long sentence.
Paul Fisher. Repeat after me. I, Paul Fisher, having been elected to the office of council member, Third Ward of said city of Austin. I'm done. I do. I, Paul Fisher,
I'm Paul Fisher.
having been elected to the office
Been elected to the office
of council member, Third Ward
council member, Third Ward,
of said city of Austin,
said city of Austin.
do swear that I will support the Constitution
Swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States and state of Minnesota,
of the United States and state of Minnesota.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
I will faithfully discharge duty of office
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. That was good. The look on your face was like,
Where's this? Remember all this?
You lost him an I, Paul Fisher. Yeah.
Andy, does Owatonna have this much fun? Did Owatonna have this much fun?
All right, congratulations, everyone, and welcome to the council, starting 2025. On to roll call. Tom?
Mayor King,
Present.
Councilmember Baskin,
Present.
Postma,
Present.
Helly,
Present.
Bashusta,
Present.
Fisher,
Present.
Waller,
Present,
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 1 is a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a motion approving our minutes from December 16th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That motion passes. Item number 3, under recognitions and awards, we have new Assistant City Engineer. Stephen, introduce, please.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Andrew Sorensen as our new Assistant City Engineer. He started last Thursday on January 2nd, so it gave us a couple days with light workload to get acclimated, and today he's already jumping right in, taking care of things. So Andy comes to us with about 12 years of experience in civil engineering. He worked for the state of Minnesota and most recently the city of Owatonna. So I'd like to welcome Andy to our crew.
Sure. Andy, welcome. Welcome. I understand you're a Jackrabbit, is that right?
Yeah, I am a Jackrabbit.
Good school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to tell us about yourself? Welcome too.
I've been living in town for 15 years. My wife and I have been here. We have 3 kids. She's a teacher in town. We're busy, but we're glad to be here.
Yeah.
Very glad to be here.
Well, welcome. We're happy you're here. Thank you. Absolutely. All right. Moving on to item number 4 is a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Under bids and openings, we have receiving bids for, item number 5 is a resolution receiving bids for ash tree and stump removal. We got some good news there, Jason.
We do. Honorable Mayor and Council, at the June 3rd, 2024 meeting, if you recall, staff requested authorization from council to begin the bid process for the removal of ash trees. Council agreed to this request, and we began working on finalizing tree inventory and developing bid documents for the first round of bidding. Preparing this bid was a lengthy process, I must say. I think we went above and beyond with a great team of staff. We updated the diameter of every tree in the bid process. We identified whether there was any access issues, if there was any overhead cable, overhead power, or anything like that, so that the outcome was really you could bid this project from a beach somewhere else without actually coming on site, because all the information is there, the diameter and everything. So huge shout out to Mike Rask, the city's stormwater and GIS specialist. He helped us with updating our GIS maps. AmeriCorps troops, once again, came to the table and hit the streets, boots on the ground, did a lot of great work. And then our tree crew also assisted with the process. So our plan at that time, and what ended up the result being, is that we wanted to go out to bid, or have the bid opening to take place after the budget was finalized, which is what we did. So we held a bid opening on Friday, December 20th, and for the removal of 325 ash trees. We received 15 bids, which we were very pleased with, and this includes the tree removal, grinding the stump, as well as ground restoration. So the work's planned to be completed by December 31st, 2025. And in your packet is a summary of the bids that we received. We are, the project will be funded using a matching Hormel Foundation grant and capital improvement revolving funds. So the project budget comes down to a Hormel Foundation grant, which is a part of the grant that they granted the city this year, $91,714.07, with a match from the city capital improvement revolving fund of $91,714.07. So the total bid amount is $183,428.14. That is the lowest bid received. And staff, so I guess we had a wide array of bids. You can see if you look at the 15 bids we received, the low bid was $183,000 and change. The high bid was $568,000. Interestingly enough, we had a good grouping in the $200,000 range, which are all very competitive, good bids. We had 0 bids in $300,000 range, and then we had another small grouping in $400,000 with a couple in the $500,000 range. So we do plan to go out to bid a few more times, as also is presented in your packet. If history shows us anything with our treatment bid process that we did 2 rounds of bids. And what happens is, this is all public record, so other contractors can see what the bid results are. and then oftentimes when you go out to bid a second or third time, they tighten their numbers a little bit, and sometimes you'll get a better outcome. So, although I will say we are very pleased with this outcome, very, very pleased. So, staff recommends council award the bid to Cars Tree Service, Inc. in the amount of $183,428.14. This was the lowest bid received, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Jason. Council, any questions for Jason?
Jason, remind me, how many trees total are we trying to remove over the next couple of years?
Yeah. 350, 325.
After what we were able to treat this spring, we're looking at probably around 1,600 trees total. But keep in mind, a portion of those are planned on being removed and currently being removed by our in-house tree crews.
Yep.
These numbers are look pretty good that we might go a little bit above what our original plan for contracting out tree removal. We do, and just to mention, so all that 1,600 trees I mentioned that's all on city maintained properties. So that doesn't include trees that are along riverbanks and in the back 40 at Todd Park. So those are trees we're not ignoring. They're just less important, I guess. They're not going to create, for the most part, a hazard or a danger. So they're like the next phase of our plan for removal. But they might get moved up a little bit in the process with the numbers that we're seeing.
Very good.
Are these 325, those are the worst ones in the city? That's why you're, pick that number?
That's partially true. I would say a majority of these trees are boulevard trees. There are a good amount of trees that are in parks. They are larger diameter trees. Not all of the boulevard trees are where there's overhead power, but there are many. But yes, that's kind of our plan, is some of the more difficult trees in the first few bid processes. So right now, our parks crew, for example, is working on removing trees at like Todd Park and some of our other park areas that are not within the first couple of rounds of bids.
And then, Jason, from a qualification standpoint, just because I'm sure we'll get the question from some of the local companies that bid on it, no concerns about qualification for the Cars Tree Service, reputation, things like that?
Nope, I don't think so. And like I've told people that ask who did we award the bid to, I'm not releasing that information because that's up to you all this evening. But I did meet with representatives, the owner and the manager of Cars Tree Service last week, and they understand they need a city tree, street tree contractors license. They need the state license. They need the proof of insurance. I think they've even given us all that information already. But yeah, everything looks like a go with this company.
Good.
One thing I heard from one of the bidders is that it's like a large company like Asplund. It's like right below them. They're all around the state. They do work in cars. They're very reputable.
They do. They have offices all over. They have a lot of employees. They have, I don't recall where their closest office is, but they will. I said December 31st is the deadline through the bid process. It won't take that long, I don't think, with this group. I'll probably let you know when they start work. You might want to check it out. They do have a pretty neat piece of equipment that they're going to bring in with them for the process, and it makes it a lot quicker. It makes it a lot safer. It's better for the neighbors. They're going to be in and out quicker, so it's less intrusive on our residents on the boulevard. So we, of course, we welcome and encourage local companies to bid. In this case, it did not. I wouldn't say they're definitely regional though, and they're in this area somewhat, but I think it'll move quickly, safely, and effectively for sure.
Great. Thanks, Jason. Looking for a resolution for item number 5, awarding the bid.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Ellie.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Next time under petitions and requests, item number 6 is a resolution designating depositories for checking and investment of public funds for 2025. Tom?
Annually, we are required to pass a resolution designated where we can invest public funds and our operating funds for the city. There's been no change from the 2024 year in that Wells Fargo is our main account for handling all day-to-day operating transactions. And also below, you can see the several entities we have listed for our investments that we use to cash flow purchases and tax levies that come in. With that being said, we would request council approve the resolution that would authorize us to use these brokers for our investments and cash management.
Thank you, Tom. Council, if there's no questions, looking for a resolution?
Move to approve.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 7 is a resolution approving the budget adjustment to the general fund for 2025. Tom?
Well, we're one meeting in and we already want to adjust the budget for 2025. Most of these items, or the first section of these items, are all Hormel Foundation grants that were received or were approved at the end of December that we are now would like to incorporate into the operating budget, which includes just under $134,000 of capital outlay items in the general fund and another $250,000 for the Emerald Ash Borer grant that Hormel Foundation gave for us. In addition to that, we've talked in the past about setting aside $1 million of city general fund balance to help with the tree removal process, which again, this could take 3 or 4 years, tree removal and tree replacement process. So again, that $1 million we'd like to transfer over to the capital improvement revolving fund where Jason and his team can then code all those expenditures and we can track the dollars going in and out related to that. So with that, we'd certainly try to answer any questions you may have.
Very good. Thanks, Tom. Council, any questions for Mr. Dankert? If not, looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution setting the mileage reimbursement rate for 2025. Tom?
IRS has set the mileage reimbursement rate for 2025 up from 67 cents last year to 70 cents this year, so an increase of 3 cents per mile. So this is what we would reimburse employees, council members, et cetera, staff for travel outside of the city of Austin for city-related business. This does not affect those 4 individuals that get an actual car allowance. This is only for those that get mileage reimbursement. And with that being said, we'd request council approval of such.
Thank you, Tom. Looking for resolution, council?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 9 is requesting approval for the cannabis ordinance. Council, any questions or discussion on this?
I would have to ask, I missed the discussion. Being one of those that asked for it, and then I regretfully missed the meeting that we talked about it, but I'm assuming in glancing through this, I did not see that we put any buffers in this at all. Left it basically the same way it was before.
Craig, was there any modifications or the original draft again? Okay. So it's back to the original draft we had before we had the discussion of putting parameters. If you
Thank you.
discuss it more, that's fine. Otherwise, we're looking for a motion for the preparation of the ordinance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9B for the adoption of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Nay. I know it's not gonna change the ordinance, I'm just gonna prolong the process, but
Okay.
I would have liked to have seen buffers put in.
As a first reading, it does not pass without unanimous vote, so we'll carry it forward to the next meeting.
That's fine.
No need to do C.
Okay. Item number 10 is resolution receiving feasibility report and calling for public hearing on February 18th for the street improvements on 6th Street Northeast from 30th Avenue to 36th Avenue Northeast, project 19,106. Stephen?
To have a backup for the backup, but my backup and my backup aren't working here.
Paint a picture with your mind.
Yeah.
So, will be here all night. I get very detailed to make sure everybody's picturing the same thing. Well, first, we'll get started with, anything look? Plugged in.
Andy, I think he needs your assistance right now.
Yeah, I'll turn it over to you.
It's been a while since he's done any of these.
Yeah, there you go. That too. I'll start out with the memo that we have to start out the document. This was the memo. These were the projects that we presented back in early December to request feasibility reports, and we're bringing those to you now. There's a couple projects on there that you can see that are struck from the list. 8th Street Southeast, on that project, we started to review some sanitary sewer trunk main alignments in the southeast over by Woodson School. And that was something started by Mr. Wenham, our previous assistant, and we weren't able to finalize that, so we want to wait with that project until we get a better handle on that trunk sewer, what our options are with the trunk sewer there. And then project number 5 listed 13th Street Northwest and 11th Avenue Northwest. As this fall, as the detour of the 4th Street Bridge began and we seen all of the additional traffic in that northwest area, we thought that we're hesitant to start work on 13th Street Northwest and push some of those parked vehicles out to 8th Avenue and 10th Avenue, which are currently being used for the detour. So for those reasons, it would be our recommendation to not move forward with those 2 projects this year as part of this feasibility report process. So does anybody have any questions about our thought process there with those 2 projects?
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds.
So jumping forward into the feasibility report, our first one is 6th Street Northeast from 30th Avenue Northeast to 36th Avenue Northeast. This project came in front of the council about 5 years ago, and we presented that. At that time, there was not high interest from the adjacent property owners to move that project forward. And at that time, council recommended to move it back on our 5-year capital improvement plan. So that's what brings us back today. The project is, the roadway is still in need of repair. So we're bringing that back forward tonight for our feasibility report. And again, it's the same project as we had before, where we would regrade the south portion of the roadway. It's currently gravel. And the north portion of the roadway was not finished as part of the development years ago. And the pavement has deteriorated to a point where it's no longer salvageable, so we would recommend reclaiming that pavement into aggregate and then overlaying the entire segment of roadway into with 4 inches of asphalt to make a 22-foot wide roadway. A project like this, where this area has not been assessed before and they have not built their roadways up to city standards, this first installation of roadway we would recommend it to be assessed at 100% of the project cost back to the adjacent property owners. We would not propose to put in curb and gutter or sidewalks or anything like that. The nature of the neighborhood right now just does not fit that design. It's all rural section, so we would be just matching the existing fit of the neighborhood.
Stephen?
Yes?
So when you said 100% charge the property owner, why? When
Because it
our
wasn't
city
built to
projects,
standards.
it's,
Yeah, because typically when a development comes into Austin, we require a developer to build that first roadway section to city standards. This one was not when it was brought in, so we are now bringing it up to a rural city standard. And then that gives the baseline, and then from there on, future years down the road, when the future projects are done, it would then fall under our normal assessment policy. But this first time, to get it up to standards, we would recommend 100% cost on the adjacent property owners.
So you either have to do it when you build, or you have to take the 100% assessment at some future date. And
Yes.
that was their choice back when they built.
Well, this area was annexed into the city in 2009 or 2010 as part of our Lansing Sewer Project. And the condition that the roadway is now is the condition that it came in at that time.
Thank you.
Yes, we estimate the total project cost to be about $160,000. And with council approval, we would request council, and with further conversation, request a public hearing be set for February 18th, 2020.
So Stephen, on this one,
2025, excuse me.
the last time we talked about it, I recall, so the objection was, hey, we don't really want to do this. The road's fine. We're okay with it. It's a pretty low traffic thing. Am I understanding correctly? Over the next 5 years, the road has really deteriorated even past where it was last time we talked about it?
Yeah, the asphalt portion has gotten worse. I think originally we were planning to just add an overlay to the existing asphalt. Now that's no longer an option. A few more houses have built in this neighborhood. I believe it's built out pretty close. So yeah, we just believe now bringing it back is the right time to bring it up to city standards with asphalt pavement and get rid of the aggregate roadway section that is there. But yeah, I believe you're recalling it correctly that we did get some pushback from the residents that they didn't feel that this improvement was necessary.
So the developer's responsible for the rest of it? And where there's no houses on the?
To the farthest north end where there is no houses, our project would stop at the houses. We'd go from the houses to the south, and we would not redo the area to the north until the developer or something drove a need for that roadway to be rebuilt to the north. Right now, we would dead end it right where the houses end.
Thank you. Any other further questions on item number 10? If not, looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Thomas?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 11 is resolution receiving feasibility report and calling for a public hearing for February 18th for street improvements on 21st Avenue Southwest from 4th Drive to 12th Street Southwest, project 25102. Stephen?
Yes, this project is a continuation of a project from last year when we did 9th Street Southwest down in this same neighborhood. The project for this year is, as you described, 21st Street Southwest from 4th Drive to 12th Street. With this project, we will be, it was originally constructed in about the 1950s. Some of the existing homes along 21st, I'm sorry, that says 21st Street Southwest at the very beginning of the resolution. That should be 21st Avenue. But the homes started to be constructed in this neighborhood as part of a development in the 1950s. So the roadway is likely of that similar age. Our plan is to remove the existing asphalt pavement, any unhealthy trees or trees that need to be removed as part of the project. We would then salvage a majority of the curb and gutter. There would be a section of curb and gutter that would come out on the south side of the roadway. Then we would replace it with new asphalt pavement and aggregate base. A caveat to this project is there are a couple of sidewalk segments that are missing. There's little to no sidewalk on the north side of 21st Avenue. But there, in the last block from 11th Street to 12th Street, there is one property owner that has sidewalk there on the north side, and we would propose adding sidewalk to one additional property owner there between 12th Street and 11th Street. Pausing for dramatic effect.
It's working.
Mayor, is this Schumacher's Road?
No, one down, more by the
Farther?
South Grove Park. This goes by South Grove Park, Stephen.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing on with the sidewalk discussion, the majority of the property owners on the south side of the roadway have existing sidewalk. There is sidewalk from 12th Street to 10th Street. And with this project, we would propose to add additional sidewalk from 10th Street to 9th Street on the south side. And then we would also add it on the south side near South Grove Park from 9th Street back to 4th Drive, where it would connect into the park and connect into our trail system on 4th Drive. So we are proposing to add sidewalk in missing segments on this project. With that, the overall estimated project cost is $950,000. We've estimated about $670,000 would be funded with assessment bonds. We have a dollars associated with our wastewater treatment plant fund and also our stormwater fund. So with that, again, if council approves, we'd recommend setting a public hearing for February 18th, 2025.
And again, the sidewalks, we all know that's a sticky wicket, but I think, I like the idea because it's by the park and there is some connectivity issues with the trail and there are some sporadic sidewalks, but so I think when you write the letter, the only, I guess, request I would have is that when we got our letter on 9th Street, it said sidewalks 0. So, because the city's gonna pay for them, right? They're gonna put them in because they're the first time they're going in. So what the residents told me was, and I get it, it looks like they're just gonna not have sidewalks. It says 0. So somehow if you could write it in your letter to them that we're adding sidewalks, but it'll cost the homeowner nothing. Because when when I got my letter, it just said sidewalks 0. I was like, I don't have a sidewalk now, I'm not having a sidewalk again. So it was just a little bit wonky the way it was written. So if you could just describe that a little better to them. Council, anything?
Stephen, you know this is my favorite topic, and I'm sure we'll get asked. So on the north side, you're just adding one little section kind of halfway between 12th and 11th. What's the purpose of that section if we're not going to continue it past 11th down the road?
The purpose would be folks that are coming down on 11th Avenue wouldn't have to cross 21st Street right there. They can continue over to 12th Street Service Road and go back to the north. It completes a connection there.
So it's literally only one property owner.
That is correct.
Okay.
It's one property owner.
Okay, anything else for this item number 11? If not, looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 12 is resolution receiving feasibility report and calling for public hearing on April 7th for street improvements on Oakland Avenue from 1st Street Northeast to 12th Street Northwest, 1st Avenue Southwest, from South Main Street to 12th Street Southwest, project 25103. Stephen.
All right, so this project has a lot more detail, so I'm going to go through things kind of line by line here. And I know that we've had multiple presentations to the council on this project before, but this really goes into detail about the extent of the project. So Oakland Avenue was last reconstructed in 1979, and First Avenue was last reconstructed in 1953. Both roadways are 44 feet wide, and they have sidewalk. They're made of concrete with curb and gutter, and they have sidewalk on both sides. Our project moving forward is to remove, this is a bit of a unique project for us where we're gonna gut everything. We're gonna remove everything from sidewalk to sidewalk, including the sidewalks, roads, driveways, and everything. We're gonna remove ash trees, unhealthy trees, and trees impacted by construction, which I believe is about every tree on the project. It's a very narrow boulevard, and the trees have not grown up very well in this environment, so I believe we plan to remove all of the trees on both Oakland and First. Signal lights will be eliminated on Oakland Avenue at 1st Street Northeast and 1st Street Northwest at those two intersections. Oakland Avenue East from Main Street to 1st Street will be converted from the existing two-way to a one-way westbound traffic. So from the Twin Towers to Main Street, right by the fire station, will be converted to one-way westbound traffic, 2 lanes. As we've talked before, as you go from Eastside Lake to Highway 105, this is the only block that doesn't have 2 lanes of westbound traffic, and it creates a bottleneck for us. That is why we are making this change and recommendation. We plan to construct new pavement, 8-inch concrete, 8 inches of aggregate, 12 inches granular borrow, curb and gutter at a width of 41 feet. So we're going from 44 down to 41. That's made up of 2 9.5-foot parking lanes on each side and 2 11-foot driving lanes. That is all based on feedback that we heard from the public about, wanting to keep 2 parking lanes. We talked about bike lanes, with lots of different things that we talked about, and this is where things were settled. Sidewalk will be replaced at a 5-foot width on the left-hand side as you're driving down the one-ways, and it will be replaced at an 8-foot width on the right-hand side as you're driving down the one-ways. So the 8-foot sidewalk would be on the north side of Oakland, and it would be on the south side of First Avenue. We'll improve all of our ADA pedestrian curb ramps, planning to put bump outs at Main Street, 4th Street, and 8th Street to improve and shorten the pedestrian crossing distance, as well as a traffic calming measure, give pedestrians more visibility. We're gonna replace and upgrade and improve all of the storm sewer on the project. All of the sanitary sewer main services and manholes will be replaced within the right-of-way. We're gonna install drain tile, sump pump stub outs for some pumps to connect into. We're gonna put decorative street lighting throughout the both corridors. We're looking at 3 decorative street lights per block. So they'll be at the intersections and 1 mid-block for each segment of roadway. Signal lights will be upgraded to meet ADA requirements with push buttons and audible messages. And boulevard landscaping improvements will be constructed along Oakland Avenue and Main Street, First Avenue Southwest, and 12th Street at the island down by Quick Trip. And also there'll be landscaping on the bump outs. Council allocated a total budget amount for those improvements, any landscaping improvements, of somewhere in the $200,000 range. I believe that was the number from past notes. We'll look to plant boulevard trees wherever possible, where they don't impact visibility, underground utilities, and overhead obstructions. Austin Utilities plans complete water main reconstruction on the project. They started some gas main work this fall, but they will continue that throughout the project timeline. And then there'll be electrical service lines and power line relocation as necessary as they're encountered throughout the course of construction. Our total project estimate is $15 million for this project. It's even a little bit higher than that with some of the engineers' estimates that we're getting from WHKS. We'll use assessment bonds and grants to fund about 2/3 of the project. The remainder will come from our wastewater treatment plant fund and our stormwater fund for those associated utility infrastructure items. We have $7,680,000 in grants that will be applied toward the project. Those grants will come in over the course of about 4 years, starting in 2005 and carrying through 2028. We'll construct the project in 3 phases. Our first 2025 phase will start at the Twin Towers on Oakland Avenue and go west to about Hoverston's office, which is between 7th and 8th Street Northwest. That will be year 1. Year 2, we'll pick up where we left off there between 7th and 8th Street, and we'll go down to Quick Trip at 12th Street. In addition to that, we will also leapfrog over on First Avenue and do 4 blocks from Main Street to about Papa Murphy's. So we're kind of alternating 2 segments of the one-ways in that middle year of 2026. And then in 2027, we will complete the remainder of First Avenue from 4th Street or Papa Murphy's, carrying us back toward 12th Street by Sterling. With this phasing, we are taking into consideration the 4th Street intersections and school. Working through that, we're setting up a detailed phasing plan for the contractors to ensure that we don't start We don't tear out the 4th Street intersection until school is released in the spring, early June, and then having the roadway, the intersection back in usable condition before school starts again in August. So we're taking that into consideration. We're also taking concerns from businesses and access, trying to do whatever we can to limit those impacts, but we know that there are going to be impacts to businesses and the traveling public throughout the corridor. Assessing these properties becomes unique when a project is spread out over 3 years like this. So our plan is to utilize the assessment rates that we're setting here in 2025, and they will apply to everyone on the project, whether your project is done this year in 2025 or it's done 2 years from now in 2027, you'll all pay the same front footage amount. But we don't want people in 2026 and 2027, we don't want to assess them this fall before they've even seen a lick of work on their roadway. So we will assess each year based on their segments. So this year in the fall, we will assess the people that are part of the 2025 phase. In the fall of 26, we will assess those that were part of the 26 phase. And in the fall of 27, we will assess those that were part of the 27 phase, but they all will receive the 2025 assessment rate. Creates paperwork, and anytime somebody sells a property during that 3-year period, it create more work for the clerk's office, recording all of that, keeping track of all of those things, but we think this is the fairest way that everyone is assessed the same assessment rate. Yes. Yeah, we will, we'll have one public hearing for all of these properties. And you'll see in your handout, we're proposing to have the public hearing on a different day than all the others. The other street projects, we have about 100 properties that we're notifying on our normal street reconstruction program. We're proposing to have those public hearings on February 18th. But this group of properties on Oakland Avenue and First Avenue, they make up about 170 property owners, and we're proposing to have their public hearing on March 3rd. So I would ask to make that change in your feasibility report. We currently say April 7th, but we're looking at March 3rd for the public hearing for Oakland Avenue and First Avenue properties. Lastly, someone may ask, why are we doing it this year? We've got the bridges going on, we've got traffic impacts. Yes, this isn't the perfect situation, but our grants require us to do the work this year. We got these grants 5 years ago, and they called for construction to occur in 2025. When we applied for these grants, we didn't realize or didn't know schedules for the bridges. We didn't know in detail how all of that would schedule out, but it's the cards that were dealt. They have state and federal dollar grants on their project that required them to go at this time. We as well have state and federal grants that require us to start this project within this construction window. So that's why we've looked to phase it out. We will look to phase it with construction and try to minimize those impacts as much as we possibly can. So with that, I'll turn it over to council for any questions that you might have.
Very good. Thanks for the explanation, and noted that the change will be for that public hearing on from April 7th to March 3rd.
Thank you.
Council, any questions for this project?
Yeah, Stephen, you kind of anticipated my question in terms of the why now. I mean, is there anything we can do to get like a waiver or an extension or something? Just because I think we all understand kind of the challenges of getting around with the 4th Street Bridge being out. Or is there a bare minimum? Like, if we rip up a tree and like knock over a curb and gutter, technically we've started, then now it can be a 4-year?
We would have to push it back to 2027 if that is a desire, because the 4th Street detour will continue through 25, and the 14th Street detour will be occurring in 26. We have grants for this project that come in 25, 27, and 28. We have multiple grants. I think we have about 6 different grants. I haven't asked that question, but I think it would be very difficult to get a delay on using the grant dollars. You know, any entity, whether it's state, federal, or even city, if we give someone money, we want to see them spend it and use it up. So that is the general consensus that we get from MnDOT as well when we get a grant. If a community doesn't use it, they're always looking to move that money to another community that can. So just from past conversations that I've heard, that question would be frowned upon if brought to those funding agencies.
Okay.
It certainly just falls under the price of progress. I know it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to be impacting motoring public, but I'd hate to jeopardize 2/3 of that project with the grant money if it was wonky. So I get it. We're going to beg the public's patience, and I just think they've had some time to chew on it and invest their time in going to meetings and putting their input in there. So
I would just, I mean, all due respect with that, and at the end of the day, I mean, we probably know where we end up. I would love to take another swing at it, because I get what you're saying, right? Like, normally it's hey, we give you money, we want you to use it. I would think this is an extraordinary situation where it's like, yeah, we're diverting a bunch of traffic and creating a huge pain for the public to travel. Like, I think we've got to put what is in the best interest of the city of Austin, short and long term, on there. Now, if it comes back and it's hey, it's use it or lose it in 25, then I think we can at least look people in the eye and go, did you want to pay more taxes in order to get this? Great. But if there is, I would love to at least have the conversation before we get a no.
Well, but if we push it forward, will we end up paying more anyway because we're going to be paying the construction prices 2 years down the road or 3 years down the road? It's going to be a pain no matter what.
even if we push it to 2027, we'll still have bridge construction going on in 2027. There'll still be
14th Street will
26,
be 26, so
there'll be a bridge.
26 should be
be done.
done with bridge construction in fall of 26.
And I think
It's always go
as much of a
exactly
pain
according
as it
to
is, yeah. I think people have gotten are very adaptable and are figuring out ways to get around in town. I mean, I've seen traffic flows where I work, which is right at the ground zero basically, and traffic flow has changed considerably in the last month, I would say. So I think people figure out quickly the easiest ways to go and work with it, and when to go and when not to go.
Fair argument of
Unfortunately,
just
I mean,
put all the pain together and suffer through.
Steven, how does it work
Kind of
when,
the perfect storm.
when you're making the sidewalk 8 foot? Say you're a business owner, you're Muffler Center, you're Godfathers, and you're taking away part of their parking spaces. Do we buy that from them? Say you're Godfathers and you take
No, we're
4 feet
narrowing
of the parking
street,
in the
so
front
we're
row
bringing
there.
the sidewalk out into the street.
The sidewalk, so we're narrowing the roadway 3 feet. We're going from 44 feet to 41 feet for the roadway width.
Yeah.
So we're narrowing the roadway 3 feet, and we're taking that 3 feet that we narrowed the road, and we're adding it to the sidewalk on one side. So we're staying within our boundaries, our right-of-way for the total project width. We are currently getting easements from property owners to be able to grade back and match into the new sidewalk so that like one layer of sod to grade that in. We've gotten about 115 of the 170 we've talked to and gotten easements from. So we are going back onto private property a few feet to make a more mobile slope, make it better for the property owners in the long run. But that is just it's not a permanent item. We're not taking property from any of the property owners. One other note on the sidewalk, as we talk about the city's assessment policy being applied to these property owners, I think it's important to note it, because of all of the construction, because of us taking out all of the sidewalk, widening the sidewalk for different reasons, it would be our recommendation that we only assess for the street portion of the project, that we not assess them for sidewalk. That is something a little bit unique on this project, but because of the complexity, grants involved, that would be our recommendation, and we would ask that that be incorporated into this if you agree with that position.
That sounds reasonable.
Yep, I agree.
Stephen, last question on my end, and I mean, thank you for all the time and energy and work that's gone into this, because I know there's been a ton of strategy that goes. You mentioned something in passing around, hey, we're already getting kind of engineer estimates that are higher. If we think it's going to come in higher than, you know, the 15 million we already have allocated, are there aspects of this project we should be rethinking like now, or like starting to take out, or how do we think about that?
Right, so with the project, and we look at our funding package, I believe it was a month or more ago, we talked about how the grants fit in, when they're coming, and where are we going to find the stopgap, or where are we going to, if costs come in lower or higher, where is our bounce factor there? And we have dollars through our state aid account that we can apply toward this project, and they will fill that gap. So I feel comfortable that we have the money we need to build the project. When it comes to where do we cut, to give you an idea, by narrowing the roadways from 44 to 41 feet, that saved the project almost $250,000. So there are things that can be done. We talked about the $200,000 that was allocated for landscaping. You know, during that discussion, that kind of entailed with the decorative street lighting. You know, this is our one chance to really do something in this corridor. And during those discussions, that was the dollar amount that was given us for direction on that. You know, everything else, besides the 8-foot sidewalk, you could narrow it down to normal 5 foot if you desired. That, if the roadway has a $250,000 cost savings by narrowing it 3 feet, narrowing the sidewalk maybe saves us $75,000. Just because of the thickness is so much thinner, so much concrete that goes into pavement. Besides that, it's a standard roadway. It's aggregate base, it's concrete, it's the same thing we would build whether we were here or in another part of town when it comes to the concrete pavement. So it becomes difficult to find areas to cut.
Okay. No, that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Council, if no further discussion, looking for a resolution for item number 12.
I'll make a motion to move forward the resolution.
Okay,
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Ellie.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Moving on to item number 13 is a resolution receiving feasibility report and calling for a public hearing for February 18th for street improvements on 6th Avenue Northeast from 18th Drive to 19th Street Northeast and 18th Drive Northeast from 5th Avenue to 6th Avenue Northeast, project 25106. Stephen?
Yes, we've been working in this northeast neighborhood for the last 4 years or so, and this is just a continuation of that. This is more our normal street reconstruction program where we're rebuilding the roads that the mayor described with our normal new curb and gutter, new asphalt pavement. 18th Drive is a little unique roadway. It's only has about a 50-foot wide right-of-way, so we don't have the opportunity to put in sidewalks in that area because it's such a narrow right-of-way, so we're just recommending an asphalt roadway with curb and gutter. We'll upgrade the underground infrastructure as necessary. This project also has a couple sidewalk segments that are missing. We would recommend adding new sidewalk on the south side of 6th Avenue from 1910 to 18th Drive. It impacts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 properties on this project, but it completes a leg of sidewalk there on the south side of 6th Avenue. On the north side of 6th Avenue, there is already sidewalk from 19th Drive to 19th Street, and there's currently no sidewalk from 18th Drive to 19th Drive, and we're not proposing to add it in that location. The total estimated project cost is $900,000, and we would recommend using our assessment policy to assess adjacent property owners, and we would request council set a public hearing for February 18th, 2025 for this project.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. Council, any questions on item number 13? If not, looking for a resolution?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Lastly, item number 14 is a resolution receiving feasibility report and calling for a public hearing for February 18th for street improvements on 25th Street Southwest from Oakland Avenue West to 7th and 8th Avenue Southwest, project 25107. Stephen?
Yes, this project is located out by Fordtown, Shirley Field Park, south of Oakland Avenue. These roadways were constructed back in the late 80s and early 90s, and the surface is deteriorated and in need of refurbishment. So we're planning for a mill and overlay on this project, where we would mill off the top couple inches of asphalt and replace it with new asphalt. There is a segment of sanitary sewer. We try not to do underground construction on these types of projects, but there is a segment of sanitary sewer that the circular sewer main has egg-shaped and become smaller, causing stress on the pipe. And we feel that now is the time to replace that segment. We'll look into it some more, but that is in the 300 block of 25th Street Southwest. Austin Utilities, they have some bad water main in this neighborhood. They have a stretch a little bit outside of our project area on 24th Street Southwest from 5th Avenue to 7th Avenue that they know that they need to replace. They're also going to look closely at the water main in this segment of roadway on 25th Street to determine if there's any replacement needs here as well. Again, we try to limit underground replacement on a mill and overlay, but in this case where there's some underground infrastructure that is failing, now is the time to do it. So with that, our estimate for the project is $200,000. We would recommend us assessing the adjacent property owners based on our mill and overlay assessment policy and setting the public hearing for February 18th, 2025.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. Council, any questions for this item? Looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Not seeing any citizens to address the council and not having an honorary council member present tonight, we're on to reports and recommendations. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor, members. We want to extend an invitation to the public to join us for our January 15th Comprehensive Plan Open House at the Hormel Nature Center from 4 to 6 p.m. You can help learn about the project, voice your opinion, and help shape Austin's future. So we'd encourage people to do so. If you go to compplan2045.com, you can get more information there. There are surveys there for both the city and county if you're interested in doing that. But otherwise, we would hope people would be engaged and attend that open house. Otherwise, that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Craig. On with council. Paul, anything?
Just thank you to all the city staff for the things they do every day. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Joyce?
I agree with Paul, and welcome back, Becky, and congratulations to everybody that was sworn in tonight.
Thank you, Joyce. Laura?
I want to say congratulations to the mayor and council member Postma for speaking Saturday night at the AAUW's story show. They did an excellent job. There are some others in this room who have also been part of that event, and I thought it represented the city of Austin very well, and it's also one of those things that we can do as residents to feel connected and as a community and resist polarization. And I also want to congratulate Mr. Lang on being able to hire that engineering position. It's a difficult hiring environment, particularly for that skill set, and I understand that there's maybe some personal connections. So it matters who your leaders are, it matters who they're connected to, and it's making a big difference for the city of Austin. So that's everything.
Thank you, Laura. Jeff?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Posty?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Jason?
Would also welcome Andy, have known him and his family for many, many years, so excited that you're here with the city of Austin. And yeah, welcome back, Becky, and congratulations on the reelection for the other folks that were sworn in.
Thank you. Becky?
I just want to say I'm happy to be back serving the city of Austin and looking forward to getting back to work.
Excellent.
I
Very good.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I have nothing to add. Again, welcome, Andy. Thank you. Thank you for taking the job, and welcome to the city of Austin. With that, looking for a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, January 21st.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll take a 5-minute break or so until the work session. Thank you.